Hey, what's going on YouTube? Here I am just doing a quick review on the NOVSIGHT battery jumper. They're actually kind enough to send it out to me to do a review for you guys. And I thought it was a, different product and I thought it was interesting, so I accepted the review. And I will give you my 100% honest opinions on it, even though they did send it to me. But let's get right into it. All right, now that we're a little closer, it comes in this kind of new case. I like it. A lot of these battery jumpers kind of come in not the best cases, but it comes in a nice one that you can just throw in your car. Now, I would say with something like this shouldn't be your main mode of inflating your tires or your air mattress, because it's also an air pump, or keeping your car's battery maintained. This should just be a backup. And I say it's a pretty good backup for multiple different things. So once we open here, you can see they have a top pocket here that kind of holds your air chuck to inflate your tires. And a little bit later in this video, I will inflate one of my tires with this just to see how long it takes. I'm not going to do my truck because those are 35s, and something this small doing 35s kind of is an unfair comparison on what most people will use this for. So I'll just use a tire on my girlfriend's car. I don't know, it's probably like a 28-inch tire. It's just a little tire. And, that'll give it a better real-world example of how fast this can inflate something. But anyway, we can take it out of the box here. And you can see right here, NOVSIGHT, and then it's a jump starter, and then it's 150 PSI air inflator and an air pump. So look in here, you got some buttons right here, power, the flashlight. This is the air pump button here. And then this is to adjust your PSI on your tire inflate. So supposedly it will inflate to the PSI you set it. So that's kind of nice, so you don't have to really watch it. We will test it and make sure it works in a little bit. But you come over to here, you can see that's where the flashlight is. It seems pretty bright. I could probably turn it on like this. Oh, let me turn the power on. There we go, it's on. Yeah, it's pretty bright. And then there's a couple different modes for it. So, emergency flashlight. But now that when we turn it on, you see the LED display. It tells you how much battery's left and stuff like that. Now, one thing that I found interesting is that there's a car mode, it looks like a bike mode, and then what else? There's basketball mode, and I'm not too sure what the other mode is, but you want to select the mode of whatever you're inflating. So yeah, this can inflate, basketballs, stuff like that while you're on the road, or your car tires, mainly what it's meant for. So that's kind of cool. It has a bunch of different modes. Now, if you come over here, this is the out and in for like a air mattress. We'll look at the bits here in a second, but that's pretty self-explanatory if you have an air mattress, say for your rooftop tent or just normal camping. And then right here is where you put the air chuck to inflate your tires. You just screw it in like anything else, pretty self-explanatory. Now when you come over here, there's a little lip that you can pull off. This is, I believe, a little over 30 watt hours of power, so it is kind of a mini power bank. So you can plug your phone in or charge it. It's just USB-C to charge, so that's pretty nice. And then you come over here. This is where you open it up and plug in the actual jump starter for your car's battery. I'll show you that in a second. Just giving you a rundown on the outside of this thing. So, you just lift the tab and plug it in there. And on the back, there's not much. It does give you a little bit of information right here. And it does say it is 37 watt hours. That's honestly pretty good for something like this, since there's so much built into it. So you could charge your phone a couple times off this if you really needed to. So, it is a good, really honestly, it's a multi-tool. I kind of find it impressive. So we'll go ahead and put this back into the case. We'll pull out the bag it comes with and go over each item that it comes with. It comes with a tube. Now, I'm not 100% sure why anyone would use the tube. I guess it's just in case, but I assume it's for water, or you can stick it around this. I'm not too sure, because I know sometimes air compressors, they can build it with water, but I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it goes there. I'm not too sure what you'd use this tube for. I'd say just probably toss it. You're not going to need it. Now here it comes with a bunch of different tips to fill different things up. Here's like one for a ball, and then just random other thing. That's kind of nice. You always have the equipment you need to actually use the product. So that's nice that they send in this little baggie. Now next we have is a bunch of different tips for your air mattress. Depending on what air mattress you have, one of these will most likely fit. And if one doesn't, I guess just take the tip that it came with and put it in this baggie if this is what you're going to use to inflate your air mattress. Here comes the USB charging cord, pretty, self-explanatory. It's probably 2-3 feet long. Now right here is the meat and potatoes of the whole thing. This is what you connect to your battery to charge, and this is what you plug into the device to actually jump start. All right, so kind of just to go over just a little bit, you pull this out, you click the power button, you kind of have to hold it, my bad, and it turns on. And then it has a car on it, as you can see. You kind of just open it. Then you take this to jump your car, plug it in, and then you'll have some lights flashing to know that it made a good connection or whatnot. I was thinking this was like a screen or something, but I don't think so. I think it's just like a smooth surface. Nothing lights up when I plug this in. So I don't think that's a screen or anything. But that's kind of how you go for the jump car stuff. I'll go over that when we actually put it on a battery. All right, so now we're on my girlfriend's car. And I guess if you want her, it's a 215 by 60 by 17. So, not the biggest tire in the world. Anyway, so here we are. She's normally at around 35 PSI. I brought her down to 10, not all the way, because I doubt you'd be all the way. If you are, you have other problems. So in order to start, you hold the power button, okay? And then you kind of click, and there you go. Or you can click the plus or minus right here to set the PSI you want, and it's currently set at 35. So, just like anything with something with the tire, you kind of click it on. Sometimes you have to like maneuver it a little bit with the wheels. So in order to get it on a wheel, a valve stem, you got to open this thing up, and then when you get there, you close it, and it kind of clamps down. So go ahead and open it. Try and get it as snug as possible until you start hearing it, and then close her up, and you can kind of hear a little bit of it filling and coming over here. Anyway, turn it on, hold it. Okay. Alright, so it seems that it doesn't have an automatic shutoff. I guess I probably shouldn't. It doesn't really need it. So just watch. It says what PSI supposedly the tire's at right here. So it went up to 36 PSI, and I'll put the time up on how long it took. It took just about as long as I thought it would. This is a really small air compressor, so it's not like an AirB twin air compressor that'll do it within like a minute or whatever. So it's about exactly what I thought it would be. Let's go ahead and take it off the tire, and then I'll put a PSI measure on there and see how accurate this is in my thing. All right, let's get this. It's pretty close. This is reading about 35. That was reading 36. Now, neither of these are the most accurate thing on the world, I bet you everyone kind of knows that. But it did pretty good, exactly what I thought it would do. So honestly, I give it about a 9 out of 10 on that, since the size of the air compressor, you can't really expect too much. All right, here we are under the hood, so you can see the battery on the jump starter part of this pack. This battery's not dead or broken, and I'm not going to kill one of my batteries just for the demonstration. But basically all you do is, turn it on, and then you just connect the red first. You always connect red first, and then you connect the black. And then it'll start clicking. You'll hear a click come from here. And that kind of just tells you that it's, it's working. You want to leave it on your battery just for a little bit so some charge can get in there. Then go try and start your car. If it doesn't start, leave it on there longer, and then try and start, and then just keep going longer. And if you can't get it, well, your battery's probably just cooked and you're going to need a new one. But yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory with jump packs. I think most of you guys probably know how to use these. All right, so that's kind of the video of the NOVSIGHT jump pack slash air compressor slash pump up your air mattress slash light slash battery pack slash, whatever else is on. There's a lot of things. I think it's kind of like a multi-tool. Honestly, out of my personal opinion, for something like this, even though they did send it out to me, what I truly believe is this is a really good backup thing to have in your car. Throw it in your car, set something on your calendar for every 3 months to charge it. You might need to charge it a little bit more in the winter months. That's probably when you need it the most. So, just keep an eye out on what the charge is. Because I had not this one, but a different jump pack in my truck. I needed it in the winter, wasn't charged. So don't do that. That's kind of defeats the whole purpose of having this. So just make sure you keep it charged. Definitely don't use it as your main air compressor. It's not meant for that, I don't think. This is really just meant as it's an emergency backup, as a jump starter. That's the whole point of a jump starter, is being a backup. Same with the air compressor and blowing up the air mattress. But with the air mattress one, you honestly probably could use this as your main air mattress blow up for camping. It seems like it would just do just fine for that. It's probably really good since it has a built-in air compressor in it. So you could probably use that as your main one. Also comes with a pretty bright light. Like, I'll shine it in here with the lights on, and yeah, it's pretty bright. So in an emergency situation, if you need to flag someone down with the light, it would work pretty well. So overall, I give this probably 8 or 9 out of 10 on what it is. It honestly impressed me. I didn't think it was going to be this decent. And the air compressor part, filling up the tires, you saw, like I said, you can't keep too much, you can't think of it too high. It's really small, it's a really tiny air compressor. It's not that big. So it filled the tire just as much as I expected it would. All right. And then in the link below, I'll have a discount code if you want to buy this yourself. I'll also earn a little bit of commission, so that'd be nice, after doing this review. But genuinely, I do think it's a good product, and you should probably check it out if you're in the market for something like this. And Christmas is just around the corner, so if you know any dudes in your Christmas shopping, this would be a pretty good Christmas gift. Not gonna lie, I think it's about 170 to 200 bucks. That's what these normally run you, and they're just the jump pack. And this has a whole bunch of other things that, it helps you out and helps whoever you're giving the gift to out. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Thank you guys for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this, or if you've heard of this. I didn't hear of it, but now I do. I was looking at their website, and they have a bunch of other stuff that I'm curious. But I won't keep this in my truck because I have an air compressor and a dual battery system, so I don't need it. It would just be dead weight. But I will definitely keep it in my garage, or probably keep it in my girlfriend's car just as a backup. When you park it at the airport, your battery might die for if you're, 2 weeks at the airport. So keeping one of these is handy. So we'll probably keep it in her car for when we travel and stuff like that. But like I said, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you have any comments, questions, or concern in the comments. And like I said, link it below if you want to get it yourself. Thank you. Have a good day.